Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're looking into a story that's PLI. Well, it's deeply unsettling and frankly hard to explain away. It's become known online as the Whistler. Yeah, this account comes from a Reddit post that really caught people's attention. We actually came across it via a YouTube video transcript breaking it down.
Right.
So our goal here is to really unpack the sequence of events described by the person involved, look at the lasting impact it had on them psychologically.
Which seems significant.
Definitely. And maybe more broadly, just consider what these kinds of persistent, unexplainable experiences might mean.
And I think what really grabs you about this one is how personal it is. I mean, it spans decades of this person's life.
It does.
And then there's this claim of actual video evidence, which is pretty unusual for these kinds of accounts. We'll try to, connect the dots across this really strange timeline.
Okay, so let's start at the beginning. The narrator says the first encounter happened when they were just 8 years old.
Pretty young.
Yeah. It was late, around 11 p.m., and they were out walking the dog with their mom. This was in Lansing, Michigan. Their house apparently backed onto this sort of swampy, woody area.
Okay, so already a bit of an atmospheric setting.
Right. They said the air was quiet, just a bit windy, and then out of that swampy area, they heard a whistle. But here's the thing, they describe it as bird-like, but the pitches were all over the place, inconsistent. Made it sound, well, unsettlingly human.
Human-like, but not quite right.
Exactly. Going from high notes to low notes. They mentioned they can't perfectly describe it, just that it was unlike anything they'd heard.
And what happened then?
Well, the really scary part for the 8-year-old narrator wasn't just the sound, it was their mom's reaction.
Yeah.
She apparently looked immediately terrified.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, grabbed their hand really tightly and just said, "We need to go inside now."
Yeah.
Very urgent.
So the mom definitely heard it too and recognized it as something bad.
Seems like it. The narrator says they were too young to really get what was happening, but seeing their mom that scared just freaked them out completely.
I bet. That kind of parental fear is powerful.
For sure. But interestingly, they say the memory mostly faded after that.
No.
Like pushed down, maybe?
Which can happen with childhood experiences, even scary ones. But it wasn't the end of it.
Not at all. That's what makes this creepier. It comes back.
Right. Just 2 years later, the narrator's 10 years old now.
Still in Lansing.
Still in Lansing, late at night again, taking the dog out. Routine stuff. But they mention this large bush near their front door, big enough to hide someone. And as they're heading back inside, the whistling starts again.
The exact same sound.
That's what they say. Same weird pitches, same inconsistent human-like quality.
God, it's chilling.
And this time, the narrator instantly remembered. That look on their mom's face 2 years prior, staring into the swamp. It all came flooding back.
So no hesitation this time.
None. They just bolted inside as fast as they could. Pure instinct.
Understandable.
After that second time, though, more years went by. Again, the memory sort of faded into the background. They apparently only told a couple of people about these incidents over the years.
So it became this sort of dormant, strange memory from childhood.
Exactly. A really disturbing pattern,
Yeah.
happening in those formative years, then just vanishing, or seeming to vanish.
Which brings us to the really shocking part of the story. The reappearance.
Yeah, this jump is significant.
Huge jump. Fast forward 14 years. The narrator is now 24. This happened last summer, according to the post.
Okay.
They're with their girlfriend, Sarah. It's the 4th of July, and they're in Pierre, South Dakota, miles away from Michigan.
Totally different place.
They found this free camping spot behind a hospital right by the Missouri River to watch fireworks. Sounds a bit random, but okay.
Free camping. You take what you can get sometimes.
True. They were kind of at the end of the campground. Not many people around them. It's getting dark. Fireworks are going off, but quite far away, so not much light where they are.
Setting the mood again.
Yeah. And there's this huge thunderhead moving in. The air feels like electric and windy, an eerie vibe. Apparently, police boats had cleared everyone else off the river near them earlier.
Strange.
Most other campers had wandered off for a better view, but the narrator and Sarah stayed put by the riverbank. And then they hear it, paddling.
On the river.
Yeah, about 20 meters offshore. They see this lone figure in a canoe just paddling methodically.
Yeah.
At this point, Sarah decides she wants more beers from the car, so she leaves the narrator there alone, just watching this canoe.
Oh, boy.
And then it happens. The whistle.
No.
The exact same, distinct, unsettling whistle from their childhood, 14 years later.
Hundreds of miles away. That's hard to process. What did they do?
They said their whole body just froze. Goosebumps everywhere. Pure terror. It was too dark to see the person's face, but they could tell the figure was wearing a hat.
Okay.
And the figure stops paddling, turns the canoe to face directly at the narrator, and whistles again. Right at them.
Oh, that's direct confrontation almost.
That feels like it. The narrator, terrified, but maybe also angry, stands up and shouts, "Who are you?"
Any response?
Nothing verbal, just a couple more whistles. Then the figure turns the canoe a full 180 degrees and just paddles off into the darkness. Vanishes.
Wow. Just gone.
Gone.
And this is where the evidence part comes in, right? Which is pretty wild.
Exactly. The narrator happens to be a videographer.
Convenient in a terrifying way.
Right. They had their camera nearby, actually filming the distant fireworks. As the canoe was almost out of sight, they managed to grab the camera and film the figure paddling away while whistling. They caught it on video.
They actually got footage of the whistling figure.
That's the claim. So Sarah comes back with the beers, finds the narrator completely shaken up, understandably confused at first.
Yeah, she missed the whole thing.
Right. But after they explained what happened, she was just as freaked out. The narrator was convinced they were both going to be, murdered that night.
I can only imagine the fear.
And just the questions. How? How does this specific whistling person seemingly follow them after 14 years to a different state?
Yeah.
Is it some impossible coincidence?
Or something else.
Why was the whistle exactly the same? Who was it? Where did they go after paddling off? Yes. Nothing makes sense.
And the story doesn't really offer a neat conclusion, does it?
Not at all. The source material includes a final update from the user. After getting back home, they decided to ask their mom about that very first incident back when they were 8.
Trying to corroborate the original memory.
Exactly. They sat her down, explained it, even showed her the video they took in South Dakota.
Oh.
The mom apparently had absolutely no memory of anything like that happening. She just didn't recall the incident by the swamp at all.
Wow. Okay, that adds another layer of weirdness.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
So the narrator just concludes, well, it has to remain a mystery, an unsolved, chilling thing that happened to them.
That detail with the mom, that's really something. It throws a wrench into things, doesn't it? It makes you question memory itself.
It absolutely does. This whole thing, it's more than just a spooky story.
Right.
It pushes up against big questions about, like you said, but also coincidence and how we deal with things that just don't fit.
For sure. Think about the core phenomenon, that sound. The same distinct, weird, human-like whistle.
Yeah.
Heard when they were 8 and 10 in Michigan.
Uh-huh.
And then again at 24 on a river in South Dakota. 14 years apart, huge geographical distance. The consistency is staggering.
It really is. Statistically, what are the odds of that just happening randomly?
Extremely low, you'd have to think. Which forces you to consider things beyond pure chance. But then you have the mother's memory, or lack thereof.
Right, how do we square that? Is the narrator misremembering the mom's reaction, or did the mom just forget?
Well, it's interesting. Psychologically, intense fear or trauma, especially from childhood, can sometimes lead to memory suppression or dissociation. The brain kind of walls it off.
To protect itself.
Exactly. So her not remembering doesn't necessarily mean it didn't happen, or that the narrator's memory of her fear is wrong. It could just be how her own mind dealt with a terrifying event over decades. Memory is, well, it's notoriously unreliable and complex.
That's a really good point. It doesn't automatically invalidate the narrator's experience.
Not at all. It just shows how tricky memory can be. But it leaves us with that central dilemma of coincidence or something else. Stalking seems extreme, but
the uniqueness of the whistle reappearing like that, it feels targeted somehow, even if it sounds impossible. What are the odds, really?
Our brains want to find patterns, right? Sometimes we see them where they aren't. But here, the pattern is so specific, so identical across that huge gap in time and space.
Yeah.
The probability of a truly unique sound signature like that repeating randomly for the same person states away years later. It stretches the definition of coincidence to, well, maybe it's breaking point.
It does feel like it tests the limits of what we call chance.
It makes you lean towards some kind of connection, even if we can't explain what it is. That consistent signature is just like, it's hard to ignore.
And then there's the video, the evidence.
Right.
They caught the figure on camera, whistling as they paddled away. What does that actually do for this story? Does it prove anything meaningful?
Well, it does seem to confirm the event in South Dakota happened as described, a person in a canoe whistling that way at that time.
Okay, so it grounds that specific encounter.
It adds a layer of verification to what would otherwise be just a personal, maybe unbelievable story. But, and this is the crucial part, it tells us nothing about the who or the why.
Right. No identity, no motive.
Exactly. It doesn't explain the connection to childhood or how this person knew where the narrator was or why they were doing it. It confirms a piece of the puzzle exists, but doesn't solve the puzzle itself.
It leaves all the biggest questions completely open.
Completely.
And you can feel the psychological toll on the narrator. They explicitly say they're more scared of being outside in the dark now, always worried they might hear that whistle again.
That makes total sense. It's not just a memory anymore. It's become this lingering threat, this source of ongoing anxiety.
It fundamentally changes how you feel about your surroundings, about safety, about the dark.
Absolutely. It speaks to that deep human need for things to make sense.
Yeah.
When something so bizarre and persistent happens, especially something that seems directed at you, it shatters your sense of order.
Yeah.
The whistler isn't just a sound anymore. It's like a symbol of the unexplained intruding into their life. A constant chilling question mark.
So ultimately, the story of the whistler just hangs there,
Yeah.
unresolved. It's this really chilling account of a sound, maybe a presence, that just defies easy answers, persists across time, across distance,
Yeah.
and reminds us that maybe some things just don't have neat explanations. They just are. Like an echo you can't trace back to its source.
It really does make you think, doesn't it? How much do we actually understand about the world around us, and how much weirdness is potentially out there, just beyond our normal perception? This story is definitely a powerful reminder of that unknown, the kind that can genuinely touch someone's life and leave this lasting sense of, well, awe mixed with real dread.
We hope exploring this unsettling account was as thought-provoking for you as it was for us. It certainly leaves you thinking, what about you listening now? Has anything inexplicable ever stuck with you like that? We're always looking for compelling source material to explore, however strange it might be. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. If you found this interesting, please do like, share, and subscribe to Horror Docs.
It helps us keep bringing these stories to light.
Definitely. We'll be back soon with another exploration.